Well, this is a funny shot here. Okay, well, in case you didn't know, my buddy Fallon and I have several things in common. Not only are we both on the radio, but we both love chips and dip. Girl, we were at dinner a couple nights ago. Fallon sat down. Like, there was other people at the table. My girl sat down. Didn't even wait, didn't you?
No.
You just, woof.
I go, there were chips and dip there, and I go, whose are these? And they're like, for the table, as my hand was already in. I was like, it's been a long day.
And the thing that we mention the most is we both grew up in Indiana. Northern Indiana, Southern Indiana.
Hey,
it's time for a Thursday throwback to our childhoods in the home state of the Hoosier. So we're going to show you a picture that's quite embarrassing, and we're going to give you the story behind it. As I said, I grew up in Michigan City, Indiana. Hi, Michigan City, near in the Chicagoland. So here is the first picture. Let's look at the... Okay, as you can see, I'm wearing a waitress uniform.
Right.
So that is my beloved Grandma Mazak. That's my mom's mom. This is the grandma that I refer to all the time. She really nurtured my love of TV. I watched Dallas with her, The Love Boat, Carol Burnett. And that is my Aunt Lorraine's waitress outfit that I begged my mom to let me wear. And when my parents were not looking, my grandma let me wear it.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, away from the embarrassing eyes of my father, you know what I mean? He could not handle that. Okay, let's go to the next one. I forgot what order. Oh God. Okay. So executive producer Jeff had a couple questions with this one. First, he's like, why are you shirtless?
Are you shirtless?
Yeah, and this is the beginning of the era when I started really loving food. And this is every year. So to the shock of no one, I'm an only child. And my family, because I had a summer birthday, my family used my birthday as kind of a family reunion because I was really the only summer birthday. So every birthday, there was a giant party. It was never about gifts for me. It was always about the party. But every year, my mom, God bless her, would always get me one of those themed cakes. And that was my He-Man and the Masters of the Universe cake, which if you look behind Fallon, maybe we'll do a bump shot. My actual He-Man toy is on the set back there, but I loved He-Man, and every year, whether it was He-Man or Pee Wee Herman, I had a Marilyn Monroe cake one year. I had a Dallas cake. I'm sorry, audience, you have to laugh at that one.
Also, do you have a severe sunburn in that photo? Like, severe?
Fallon, I mean, it's Indiana. Are you kidding me? My mom covered me with Wesson. You know what I mean? It was like...
Well, I mean, I have made the joke before.
Oh my God, I am really red. I am.
Like, I was like, but... It's true. I apply sunblock to Olive every 10 minutes, my daughter.
We never did that.
My mom never put sunblock on me.
No.
I was never offered a drink of water. Olive, I'm like, are you hydrated?
No.
It's a very different time.
Very different time.
It's such a severe time.
Now, you'll love this one.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Uh-huh.
Here's the final one. We're going to move to high school. Now, this is...
I'm sorry.
This is... I'm holding a severed head. No,
Right.
No, that is a Marilyn Monroe bust because, like all little gay boys in Indiana, I loved Marilyn Monroe. And I also loved the 50s. So I was fascinated with the 50s. So as you can see, I saved all the money from working at the pet shop to start a Marilyn Monroe collection. Can I please ask the staff to wait to laugh until the segment's over? But I used all of my pet shop money to buy Marilyn Monroe items. I had quite the collection, so much so that picture was in our local newspaper. Yeah, it was in the News Dispatch.
What was the headline of that article?
What was the headline?
Yeah.
Gay kid thrives. The 7-year gay. It's a Marilyn Monroe reference. But anyway, and then I had a black and white checkered floor. I begged my mom and dad to pull the carpet out and to put black and white checkered tile.
Oh my
So I had that,
gosh.
and like every good teenager in Indiana,
Yeah.
a waterbed.
Oh, yeah. Obviously.
Every teenage, and it was a used waterbed from my cousin. Yeah.
Those things were ridiculous. If you laid on a waterbed with someone, it was like you were up really high or you were the one sinking it in. It was awful.
The first time I made out with a girl was on that waterbed, and it was it was, and we made out while I was listening to the soundtrack of Dirty Dancing.
Did she call you captain?
Nobody puts baby on a waterbed. Yeah. So
That's romantic.
it was.
Yeah.
It did not end well.
No?
Anyway,
Okay.
after the break, it's Falen's turn for some good old-fashioned Indiana embarrassment. Do I have to read this? Featuring raccoons, open fire, and more when we return. Back in a moment. Let's just say if you're in the studio audience, you get to hear the unedited versions of all those stories. Welcome back. As I mentioned before, Falen and I both grew up in Indiana, and today we're sharing some embarrassing childhood photos from the Hoosier State. I grew up in northern Indiana in Chicagoland, while Falen grew up in southern Indiana, closer to Kentucky, right? Closer to Kentucky. We got this idea for this segment after Falen showed us this. After Falen showed us this first picture. Roll it, Leo.
Please look at what I'm feeding in this photo. It is not a cat. It is not a dog. It is a baby raccoon.
Just a typical day in Indiana.
That is my Uncle Eddie's raccoon.
Say that again.
That's my Uncle Eddie's raccoon.
Said by no one ever.
His name was Rascal. And yes, I am missing 1 to 7 teeth in that photo. I don't actually truly remember this moment. I'm pretty young here, but it is one of my favorite photos from my childhood. He also had a garage filled with aquariums, and he's the uncle I just visited that I talked about this week on the show.
They had no teeth.
Missing his teeth, and my daughter was like, "You're missing all your teeth." And I'm like, "Please, just keep it to yourself, Olive."
Oh, God.
I love him dearly, my Uncle Eddie.
Next up, here we go. Let's look at this one.
This is...
Okay, we're going to zoom in a minute, but Falen, explain what this is.
So I grew up on a farm. We had a beef cattle farm, couple hundred acres, and yes, we had a cow statue in our front yard. And like responsible pet owners, we had cats outside that had multiple litters of kittens. And those are my sisters, and I am the one that looks like a little boy with a chili bowl cut on the end, being attacked by my cat for this photo.
Leo, we've zoomed in on Falen's face.
It's not.
That is perhaps one of the funniest pictures I've ever seen.
I bring it back on like throwbacks for like my siblings' birthdays every year to make their birthday about me. So yeah, that is. And also, if you look at the picture, just in general, my sister's hair, like my one sister's bangs are this high. My other one has like a triangle haircut. Like it's in a perm. It's really bad.
Oh,
so.
God.
Anyway.
Okay. And finally, now remember I mentioned open fire? Well, finally, this is a more recent picture, but still takes place in Indiana. Falen, what are we looking at?
This is from this past weekend. I went home to Indiana, and that's me with a flamethrower. Yeah. I was out on the farm, and they were like, Fallon, you want to shoot the flamethrower? And I said, you dang straight I want to shoot the flamethrower, saddle up. And he goes, put some gloves on. I said, okay. He goes, I'll explain later. So I shoot it, and I go, what were the gloves for? He's like, it's been shorting out and electric and shocking people. So we use it to clear out some brush and different things, you know.
What different things?
You know, just anything that's a nuisance.
Oh, that proves you can take the girl out of Indiana, but you can't take Indiana out of the girl.
That is
There we
correct,
go.
yeah.
Well, for more photos, be sure to follow us on our personal accounts on Instagram. Just search for Jason Matheson and search for Fallon, KDWB. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Back in a moment. Oh. My glasses are steaming up. You and that damn raccoon.